Rightio. Sleeping superpowers. Why is this in the meal plan section? Why is sleep discussed with food? And no doubt, I think we all have this baseline understanding of, yes, if I get a shitty sleep, I feel worse the next day and I'm more likely to eat. That's the rundown. If you stop this video right now, well, voila. But the actual breakdown, if you want to stick around, I've got some tips at the end of the video. If you get a poor night's sleep, what technically happens in your body? Your biochemistry changes. Now, one of the big things that happens is your leptin decreases. Now, what is leptin? Leptin is something that pretty much controls your levels of hunger versus your energy output. If you have lower levels of leptin in your body, your body's more likely to think that it's in a starvation mode, or it's like food is scarce, kind of, if you get what I'm saying. So your body literally starts to deliberately increase your hunger levels, so it increases ghrelin, another hormone, and it also deliberately decreases your energy output. Therefore, you're less likely to work out, you're less likely to expend energy, you're less likely to burn calories. So your body's deliberately trying to now get you to eat more, and it's deliberately trying to induce a feeling and mental state of not wanting to partake in expending energy and effort. The opposite of what we're trying to accomplish. This is why I guess 1,400 calorie diets or less typically result in fucked up leptin levels, and that's what ultimately leads to reduced metabolisms. And once you start getting results, once you're in that kind of state where leptin levels are bloody off the charts in terms decreased, now we're talking different states of eating disorders and body dysmorphia. So these simple things as the domino effect of getting effed up sleep, leading to decreased leptin levels, leading to all these other detrimental domino effects in terms of mental health, physical health, and now you're stuck in that loop and that cycle of repeating a fucked up weight loss journey, let alone weight gain journey for those who are on the seriously curvy meal plan goals and protocols. This goes into getting a poor night's sleep, decreased energy expenditure, less likely to work out, less likely to go hard in the gym, less gains, essentially. Now, this is just one hormone that we've talked about, leptin, and its domino effect. Impaired sleep, it actually also stuffs up your cortisol levels. Now, why is that important? Because cortisol also has a really great relationship with insulin. Now, having poor quality sleep actually increases your body's resistance to insulin, and your insulin sensitivity becomes impaired. Why is this important? Because when we increase cortisol, your body then tries to store more glucose, which has that partnership with insulin. It tries to store more glucose, so the more sugar that's running around in your bloodstream. Increased cortisol is telling the body, okay, let's store that increased sugar in your bloodstream as fat. So now you're stressed out, because cortisol is essentially one of the stress hormones. You're stressed out, you're storing more sugar or glucose as fat in your body. Because you're in a stressful state as well, you're in a position where your emotions are increased, so it's more lopsided. And what happens when we are in an emotional state, we're more likely to have food cravings. And not only are we more likely to have food cravings, but when we're running off poor sleep, when I say poor sleep, I'm talking 1 hour's less of sleep than you usually have, or more. Just one. So, let alone if you have to get up in the middle of the night. Maybe your partner is moved around in their sleep. You've had a bad dream. Maybe it's just been a stressful day and you haven't been able to get to sleep as quickly as usual. Maybe you're scrolling on your phone and the blue light and the dopamine that you get from Instagram or TikTok, it's stopping you from going to sleep that extra half an hour. It all has this domino effect. So this is why we really want to prioritize sleep, because again, not only if we have increased cortisol is that you're more emotionally susceptible for food cravings, your brain actually gets a greater kick of reward systems and dopamine when it's eaten shitty foods, when it's in an impaired sleep state. So your body feels better once it eats shitty food if you're sleep deprived. So your body is now in this state where it wants to eat easy, fast, emotionally satisfying foods, which obviously is going to impair your ability to succeed in the program if we don't have like contingency plans. So I myself, I don't rely on getting the perfect night's sleep. I actually have a couple of foods that I'll eat that will help me if I'm running off low sleep or lower quality sleep. I actually have foods in place, high volume, low calorie, tasty, satisfying foods that I know I can go to, which will calm those cravings that I get. Sorry, I've got a bit of a cold at the moment as well. It might sound a bit stuffy. So, like for instance, my foods, and if you've seen in your meal plans, I've probably included them if you're, especially in the weight loss diet, a whole bag of no butter, lightly salted popcorn, like a whole bag, and this will go into the tips towards the end of the video. Also, once you're running off lower quality sleep, you get decreased serotonin levels or performance. So serotonin, if you don't know, it's the feel-good, happiness kind of emotion and hormone. So your ability to have that hormone be regulated on an optimal level is decreased. So you're less happy, more moody. What else have we got? And that leads on to that domino effect. So you're trying to conserve energy, you're less happy, therefore your motivation to work out and go for personal best performances in the gym, in your workouts, it's all decreased. This is just that domino effect of staying up a little bit later than usual or not be getting that quality REM sleep that we really want you to be striving for. REM sleep, it's deep, rapid eye movement sleep. You'll typically get it towards the end of your sleep cycles. Sleep cycles will run for about 60 to 90 minutes. They all vary per person. So you go in waves of deep sleep, coming out of deep sleep, deep sleep, coming out of deep sleep, deep sleep. And those are typically 90 minutes in length. And you'll have them throughout the entire night while you sleep. And REM is when you get that really deep sleep, and it's restorative, it's recoverative. You recover in your sleep. A lot of science, and a great book which I've got on the recommended audiobooks is Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. Highly recommend you read it. That's why it's in the recommended audiobooks, because it has such a profound effect on not only diet and your ability to look and feel better, but has this domino effect on brain function, and increased brain function, increased organ function, and that domino effect there. So quality of life comes from one of the key areas of sleep. What else have we got? And obviously, with all this impaired, your inability to recover from sleep, from workouts is diminished, therefore less gains. That's what we want. It's a booty building challenge. Tips. Now, this is a cool one. So this is short and sharp, how to get better sleep. no fluff. I'm gonna get you to try and stop drinking caffeine after 11:30 a.m. Now, the reason for that is caffeine typically has a half-life which allows it to stay in your nervous system, in your body, for 10 hours. So if you want to be asleep by 9:30 without any caffeine in your system, this includes Pepsi, Coke, Pepsi Max, Coke, coffee, teas. I highly recommend that you have minuscule amounts or zero after 11:30. So what I do, I have a big strong black coffee in my mornings, and then I might have another less strong coffee around 11. I just want to get it in my system. Or a green tea. I'll have a green tea if it's after 11:30. I just need a kick, but no later than 1 p.m. I'm a bit of a night owl myself. What else? Tips. Reduce your alcohol intake. Now, Matthew Walker talks about this in the book Why We Sleep. And then this also flows on to success habits as well. So I highly recommend that book. Little to no alcohol. Now, it's a different story if it's coming up to the weekend, or if you love like a wine before you go to bed, or with your partner. Why that's so detrimental is because Matt talks about in his book, it eliminates your brain's ability to go into that restful REM sleep. And that's where you're restoring and flushing out the brain of, I think it's aldehydes, out of your brain. So your brain becomes completely flushed of toxins. Not completely, but this is that rapid eye movement sleep, that deep sleep. That's where your brain is just flushing out the crap. And if you have alcohol, that impairs that process. So if you can, reduce the alcohol during the weekdays. If not, cut it out. And if you can't cut it out, let's start looking into like non-alcoholic versions of what you're drinking, or like flavored soda waters to get that carbonated fix, that non-water, but I want to drink something fix. So I stopped drinking Pepsi Maxes, Coke Zeros, and swapped them for flavored mineral waters, and I feel like I'm drinking a carbonated drink when I'm not really, which I kind of am. Another tip: carbs for dessert. Now, this comes along with those feel-good factors. I've already talked about having bag of popcorn. I typically have like a low-fat chocolate mousse, or several of them before bed. Flavored icy poles if you're losing weight, or just like a good quality like protein smoothie with berries, fruits. Just having carbs, it just decreases your body's ability to be in a craving state. Therefore, and you just feel better, your dopamine spiked, your serotonin spiked, and you feel good, less stressed going into your sleep. So again, probably a nice replacement for alcohol during the weekdays. Another tip: blue light blocking glasses now, or the app. So if you've got a smartphone, I'm going to recommend that you change the settings in your smartphone to have a blue light filter come on once the sun starts to go down. So typically from 6 p.m. onwards, just have it on like max blue light filter. Like you don't want to do it, and just try it for a week. Blue light filter, blocking filter on your phone. Do it for a week. Even if you can't be, it's automatic once you put in the settings. Even if you don't want to do it, just do it for a week. This also goes onto your laptop as well. And if your lights in your room, in your house, are like LED rather than incandescent, so they're white light instead of, as you can see from this lamp here, it's come out, it's quite yellow and incandescent. So that's this light's here for a reason, rather than that big bright light that you get from like devices. It stops the blue light. Your brain is literally seeing blue light from the sky. It's guessed that between 40,000 and 2 million years, our brain has gotten used to seeing blue. The candle and lights are only like a discovery within the last couple hundred years. So whenever our brains see a blue light from the sky, or blue light that's represented from a device, it thinks that it's daytime, and it starts messing around with your melatonin levels in your brain. And melatonin is something that starts to trigger a domino effect of putting you into a sleeping state, getting you tired and ready for bed. So if it sees blue light, it thinks it's daytime, therefore I'm going to delay this going to sleep process. So blue light blocking glasses, blue light blocking apps on your phone and on your computers. And if you can, just replace the white light bulbs in your house with incandescent. Sweet. What else have we got? I brushed upon this just before, but while you're in bed trying to get to sleep, I'm going to get you to try and not use Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook. Don't turn the video off. Keep watching. It's blasphemy for most people. The reason why, if you really think about it, these companies have literally spent hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to get you addicted to stay on the platform. Everything from the little chimes, like ding. This includes Twitter as well. The literal movements of like moving your thumb in a really specific direction. That's how deep the apps go in terms of trying to spark dopamine responses in your brain to keep you getting a good feeling factor by using certain movements with your hands, your fingers, having the buttons placed in really specific positions on the app, using really specific colors, using really specific animations. It's all designed to give you tiny little bits of dopamine spikes to keep you awake, to keep you excited and aroused on the apps. So if you're in bed trying to get to sleep and you're getting trying to feel awake, feel good, it's going to keep you awake for that extra half an hour, an hour. I know when TikTok came out, not when it came out, but like 6 months ago, I'd find myself like 1 a.m. just next. Oh, another hot chick. Oh, wow. Like, I'm awake. Everyone, like, and that's it. Your feeds are all like customized and tailored to your interests as well. So you've got the most amazing device in your hands with access to unlimited entertainment and the greatest information our time has ever known at your hands, at your fingertips, trying to keep you awake. Try and turn the phone off, put it in airplane mode while you're in bed. It's hard to do, but what I typically do, and this goes on to like how to set a morning routine. When you're struggling to wake up in the morning and you're trying to set that morning routine up, say an earlier time, a really cool hack is using Instagram or Facebook. I don't recommend this, but like if you're desperate, you need to wake up, you're feeling lethargic, and you just feel like shit, I will actually deliberately open up Instagram or TikTok and use that for 5 to 15 minutes, and I'll find that I'm wide awake after 5 to 10 minutes if I'm struggling to wake up in the morning. That's how powerful it is. So rather than putting on snooze, going to sleep and feeling like shit like for the next 90 minutes to the rest of the day, sometimes I'll just use social media to deliberately spark dopamine in my brain so I wake up faster. That's how powerful it is. Another tip, electricity around your bed. A lot of people have their beds placed, or their heads place their pillows right near a power point. If you can, move over to the other side of the bed. That's going to be your new side of the bed. Otherwise, if not, try and move the bed around in your room where you're sleeping. It's just like the electromagnetic frequencies that come from it. And this is like, I've learned this information from literally people who install like power lines into streets, and they hook them up into the houses. Even when there's nothing plugged in to your power points and the switches are turned off, there's still an electromagnetic frequency that is hitting your brain. Just like we have radio waves going on 24/7, Wi-Fi. If you can, just try and keep Wi-Fi, power points, everything just away from the head of the bed. And if not, it's not the end of the world. This is essentially just, we're trying to just do 1%ers just to get improved sleep. So if you can't do it right now, just do it down the road. Another tip, showering before bed. This might seem like, yeah, I always take showers. What are you talking about? I always take a shower before bed. There's a lot of people who will shower once a day, and they'll usually do it in the morning. Or I know with women, typically you might not want to get your head wet, or not your head, your hair, so you won't shower at night. Maybe you'll just save it for the morning. I recommend just get a shower cap if that's a case. But the reason why this is so powerful is because when you're in the shower, your body temperature increases. Now, in order to get to a good night's sleep, your body temperature has to decrease. So why am I telling you to have a shower before bed if it's going to increase your body temperature? Well, it actually, having a shower before bed causes your body temperature to drop faster than you would have if you didn't have a shower. The reason being is because once you get out of the shower and you're drying yourself off, the water and the sweat that's on your skin after you come out of the shower, it starts to evaporate. And that evaporation process is what causes a domino effect of decreased body temperature in a faster way than it would have if you didn't have a shower. So going from a really hot state, it's faster to go from a really hot state to a very cooler state in terms of body temperature than it is just to be at room temperature and then trying to slowly lose your body temperature, if that makes sense. So have a shower before bed. It's called sleep hygiene. It's literally scientifically backed process. Again, read that book if you're more interested. Decreasing stress just in general life. I know, like, that's all right, Jack, I'll just decrease my stress. Easier said than done. If you're struggling like to not be stressed at work, relationships, partners, whatever's happening in your life, a really cool supplement that I recommend people take after in the afternoon / after dinner is ashwagandha. Ashwagandha, I've got it recommended in the supplements guide. It's just proven to decrease stress and make you a bit more, not sleepy, just chill. It's a great little herb extract, and you can get it pretty cheap around most places. Also increase your magnesium, but as a whole, just have a really high quality multivitamin. Probably best not to get the ones just from the general supermarkets. I've got an Opti Women supplement in that supplements guide, up somewhere in the right hand corner of the menu here. If that's sold out, sometimes it's sold out, go to like a sports nutrition store and Google in advance, where can I get this? Usually you can get, Google on my phone went off. Usually you can get it ordered online from another store as well. So maybe eBay I surprisingly get OptiMen off eBay cheaper than I can from other supplement stores. So check them out. Again, it's just going to decrease stress, increase cortisol. I know you're going to piss out most of the multivitamin, but it's going to replenish what you don't know that you're deficient in, whether that's vitamin D, vitamin B, K, whatever the hell it is. You don't know what you're deficient in. And also recommend having that multivitamin for like lunchtime, just with food, because again, we're going to utilize the body's cortisol levels when you eat food to extract as much vitamins and minerals throughout your digestive tract while you're eating and wanting to utilize that multivitamin as much as possible. Anyway, redo that My Motivation exercise in the program. You might have brushed over it when you first signed up. The reason why that's so powerful is it just reconnects you with a vision, a purpose, a drive. If you are still lacking that, we can do a one-on-one, like a really powerful goal setting exercise. I might even create another module here in the course, in the program, so keep your eyes peeled. Redo it and do those 30-40 exercises that I've got listed for you. Venting. Now, a lot of people will keep stuff pent up in themselves rather than discussing it with friends and family or someone else who will listen. If you can, just a cool system that I will typically do, because I'm not one to talk about my problems with people. I'll literally just write down everything that's on my mind on a piece of paper. It's out of mind. It's there. Now I can start ticking it off the to-do list. I can start breaking down, okay, this was the actual high priority thing that's stressing me out. Write it down. Just get it out of your mind, out of your brain. And now your brain is literally a problem-solving machine. So now it's keen to, okay, I just need to find a job that I'm more fulfilled in. I know that's like easier said than done as well, but now that's out of mind and it's literally tangible and on a piece of paper, your brain subconsciously is going to start looking for opportunities and resources to try and accomplish and solve this problem. So write down what's bothering you. Lastly, and not least, might seem pretty simple, but it's probably evident if you know someone who has like sleep apnea. You'll also notice that person is either overweight, has a lot of sugar in their diet, has a lot of caffeine in their diet, or doesn't exercise very much. So again, like it might sound counterintuitive, exercise to get a good night's sleep. Even if it's impaired exercise because you aren't sleeping well, exercise. Let's just start. Don't wait to get good sleep to start exercising properly. Exercise properly so you can get good sleep. Same with the diet. So if you're having a shit ton of sugar and processed foods, okay, and that's causing you to have shit sleep, which is causing you to just crave shit foods, let's try and buck that trend by doing the opposite first. And you're definitely not going to feel like you want to, but this is why I recommend doing that My Motivations exercise again. We need to have your vision, and me, your coach and trainer, we can be accountable to you wanting to accomplish your goals. So you need a vision and drive and an accountability partner or coach to help you flip that switch and start accomplishing what you want in life. Because again, you got to realize, like, every day matters. You're missing out on life but you're distracted, that you aren't missing out on life because you're stressed out in 5 other things that are on your plate at the moment. So let's get our shit together, start prioritizing sleep, and turn our lives around in the next 30 to 90 days while you're on the program. So cheers, team, and thanks so much for watching. I think the sun went down while I was doing that video. All right, get onto it. Talk soon. Cheers.